Welcome back. Today we are going to have a look at yet another framework called the Scrap Snapshot. It's the high impact communication architecture. Now, so far you have had a look at three frameworks, and those frameworks, they help you to come to the point straight away and be concise and precise in the way that you deliver a short update, usually between 10 and 30 seconds. Now let's move on to the place where you have some time to prepare and you have to make a slightly longer presentation that is about 3 to 5 minutes. Now that's usually the time you will get with the executives. Now you may feel that 3 to 5 minutes is not enough time for you to make a good presentation. But the reality is that executives' time is compressed. You're literally trying to compete with his other agendas like the revenue calls or customer escalations or board presentation preparations. And they don't have time for any long-winded presentation. Think in terms of a Shark Tank presentation. A Shark Tank presentation, they get only 3 minutes to make their point, answer the questions, and make their ask, negotiate, and seal the deal. So 3 minutes to 5 minutes is enough time for you to make your case with impact. So how do you make sure that you are able to pack in all that information with impact in 3 to 5 minutes time? And that's exactly where the Scrap framework comes into play. And it helps you to frame your presentation the way executives would receive it well. So how does this work? So the formula is SCRAP: situation, complication, resolution, action, and payoff. What does it stand for? So situation, give them a context without giving too much of a backstory. Very, very brief. Then what's at risk? Why is it urgent? Resolution, offer them concrete options and with pros and cons. Why are you making those options? And based on your expertise, what is the clear recommendation and the rationale behind your recommendations? And once you have done that, you can tell them about what is the expected outcome and the timelines or the success metrics which are involved in that. Now, this framework gives the executives everything that they need in under 5. So here's a little guideline for you to look at how much time should you be spending on each one of these components of Scrap, right? 30 seconds is where you can use the bluff and the 10-word framework to set the context and start talking about the issue. And 60 seconds for complications, 3 minutes for resolution. That's where you give details about what are the options, what are the pros and cons, and what are your recommendations, and why are you choosing that. Now, let's have a look at an example. So here's a bad example. We had issues with the supplier and it slowed things down, but we are working with them to improve, and I think we should consider alternatives. Now, these are the kind of updates that executives don't like. Why? Because they do not have a clear structure. It's like all over the place. Okay, it's got a vague language, there is no specific ask, and there is no decision point for the executive. What am I supposed to do? What are you asking me for? What exactly do you need from me? It doesn't answer any of those questions. So if I were to change that into a Scrap framework, this is what it would look like. Our primary vendor missed 3 consecutive delivery deadlines this quarter. This puts our 4th quarter launch at risk and could impact 2 crores in revenues. Resolution, there are 2 options. 1, we can negotiate penalty clauses and add a backup vendor. On 2, we can switch to our secondary vendor who guarantees 48 hours delivery. My recommendation, go with option 2 for reliability, right? Action and payoff, I need your decision by Friday to maintain our timelines. Everything that the executive needs in 90 seconds in this example. Now, this is a 90 seconds example, but the same structure can be used for any kind of update up to 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. Why is it good? Because it has got a clear context in the first 10 seconds. Very, very specific impact, 2 concrete options, clear ask and clear payoff. When you make your ask like this, there is no room for ambiguity, and executives love this because you haven't taken their time. So it's your turn now. Think of a proposal or an update that you either have made in the past or you're about to make somewhere in the future, and put that into a Scrap framework and see how it works. Once again, you can record a video or put a comment and ask for feedback from the others. Don't forget to review the updates of others and give them feedback. The bottom line here is that structures give you clarity.